G'day everyone and welcome to our first show. We've got Keen,
Hey,
Wayne and
Morning.
myself, Christian, here to bring you all the goss from golf and the industry. We are BGA Proshop and we've decided to create our first show given the current COVID-19 lockdown. It's the 1st of April 2020 and we got a lot to talk about, guys.
we do indeed.
We do.
All right, so first of all, for our audience out there, just a bit about BGA Pro Shop. So we are a head office support structure for golf pro shops and golf professionals. We essentially are here to provide a service to those guys as well as you guys, the golfers out there, and connect golfers with more golf professionals, because we believe that if we do that, the industry wins, we all enjoy a better product, and we help the sport thrive and move forward. So just a bit about where we're from and how long we've been in the industry. Keen, you were from Drummond Golf before and you've pretty much been growing up in golf.
Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, I've played golf since I was 13, which is 3 years ago. And yeah, it's no. So I've been in the industry for a while. It's been a good journey so far, and really enjoying what we're doing at the moment, helping professionals and pro shops.
And just one thing for the listeners, Keen does always wear his top button up, and Wayne does normally look like he just got out of bed. So just so you get to know a bit about us straight away, it's great.
It's my thing.
All right, well, let me start off. Let's go through, we'll do a quick introduction about each of us. So, Keen, you can go first. Keen, your home club.
I'm actually currently not a member anywhere. I moved back to WA. I moved back to WA 3 years ago.
Hey, mate, there is a thing called Club BGA that you're a member of.
I know. I am, sorry, yes. But physically, I'm not a member anywhere here in WA at the moment. I grew up playing my golf at Royal Fremantle Golf Club. And yeah, as I said, I moved back here 3 years ago and I haven't sort of looked to join anywhere yet. So if any club will take me, please let me know. And hopefully you'll get a super new member that could play pennants for you.
Super new member. All right, what's your current handicap?
Current handicap is 10.
10?
And going north.
What's the lowest handicap you've been to?
3.
3? Well, geez, well done. How many hole-in-ones?
I think only 2. 2.
I think he's lying. If he has to look up,
2.
If he has to look up, like
I had to think about it because my name's on the board for one, and they didn't put my name on the board for the other one. So.
All right. Okay.
And both from Mantle on the 8th. 8 iron.
What was your best ever round score and where?
My best ever round score was at Royal Fremantle. I had 69 on a Thursday morning, and that afternoon, that evening, they were announcing the pennant team. I went out in the morning and had my 69. I then felt that I couldn't breathe properly, so I went to doctors and found out that I had collapse of my lung. So I was out of the pennant team really quickly. Shot the best round of my life and collapsed my lung. So that's my story, and I'll never forget it.
Oh, there you go. What's your favourite course, mate?
My favourite course. I think I'm gonna name 2. It's gonna be Metro for the conditions in Victoria. So Metropolitan Golf Club. That golf course is always in good nick, and probably Kingston Heath is probably my favourite golf course out there. And I think, to be fair, when I first played it, I didn't quite understand. It was a very different course from what we have here in WA. So when I first got over there and started playing it, I was like, what's so special about this golf course? But once you play it a few times, you can certainly understand what makes that course so special. And same with Royal Melbourne and a lot of the Sandown golf courses as well.
And the last one is, what's your favourite club in the bag?
Favourite club in the bag? That's a good one. I'd like to say driver, but it's not behaving. So the putter works pretty well at the moment. So yeah, it's either the driver or the putter, I guess, is my love.
All right. Christian, your turn. Home club?
Club BGA.
Your current handicap?
8.
8.
Liar.
Lowest you've been to?
6.3.
All right. The amount of money that you owe Wayne now on bets?
I think I'm owed about 40,000.
$2,000 you actually owe me at the moment. How many hole-in-ones?
0.
Oh, no.
And nothing recently to ever give me any glimmer of hope that it's ever going to happen.
Best score and where?
73 at Marengaroo. It's actually public track, but it's very
It's
skinny.
not even a golf course.
Yeah, that's right. Where's that?
It's in a rough neighborhood with a lot of high fences. They might electrocute you if you touch them.
All right. Favorite course?
The Heath.
The Heath.
I'm a golfer that likes more strategy, risk reward golf than just big long holes. And Kingston Heath has a lot of strategy and club selection type holes. Can you turn that off, please? We're busy right now.
And your favourite club and bag?
Right now, it is my driver. It is behaving. It's the TS2 from Titleist that Big Dave, head pro at Ballarat Proshop, fitted me into. Got me some extra meterage, and I'm hitting them straighter, which is great. So now I only spend 50% of my time in the bush instead of 99%.
So you hit at 190 now instead of 180. Wow, that must be really fun.
Hey, that's 2 clubs.
All right, and myself, my home club is Ballarat Golf Club, was where I'm based.
And you are the president, correct?
Yes, I currently am the president. Yes.
Do you brush your hair when you go to those board meetings?
Yes, I'm in lockdown, mate. So I've brushed my hair, but I have no shave. All right. Current handicap is 3.1. The lowest I've been down to is 3.1. So I'm actually.
What does that tell you, everyone?
I'm an old 50-year-old, over 50-year-old guy now. It's shooting the best scores I've ever had in my life.
So does that mean that you're fudging your scores because you're president and you're getting a 3.1, or is that how it works there? You just put on your own cards.
Don't get diplomatic immunity. Hole-in-ones, I've had one in
Only
2017, and which my dad commonly reminds me about all the time, that he's now up to 5. Old bugger.
Oh, wow.
Where was your hole-in-one?
At Ballarat on the 11th. Yep, in the middle of winter, freezing cold, and didn't even see it go on the hole, which was very, very disappointing. So anyway.
It doesn't get cold in Ballarat, does it?
No, just a little bit. But no, it was, first one took me 30 years to get it, and I finally got it, so that was great. Best round, I've shot two unders. I shot one at Woodlands, and I shot one at the old course at Creswick, which is where I was originally a member. So shot 2 70s there. My favourite course. Impressive. Sorry?
The Woodlands one is impressive.
Yes, well, it was actually a great day out, mate. It was a charity day. We played this charity Stapleford Day and started on the 18th, and I made eagle on the first hole, so I was off to a.
You know, when we ask best score, it doesn't mean Ambrose; it means individual.
Favourite course, I've got 2 as well. Barnbougle and the same course that you guys have both said, Kingston Heath. I just think that's one of the most magnificent courses that could ever be around. So that's pretty good. And my favourite club in the bag, even though I've got my fantastic Titleist clubs now that I've been completely fitted out with from that amazing man, John at Titleist. That wasn't a plug either. Is actually my putter. I'm pretty good with my putter, so I'm pretty happy with that. So
what putter have you got in the bag?
It's a tailor-made. Everything's Titleist except for my putter. Got a tailor-made Spider. So one of the bronze
behind you, very good.
Yes.
And
it's actually there. Yes.
On a bit of a serious note, Wayne, what made you get involved with BGA?
That my golf is now tax deductible.
Real serious. Spot on. Love it.
Jeez, thanks for coming.
No. It was look. It's been a great little trip, and it's real. It's one of my favourite sayings is if you can get out of bed in the morning and enjoy what you're going to do that day, it makes the day a lot quicker. And when you get out of bed and sort of have to do some BGA stuff, like with the events that we've been running, a lot of the stuff that I look after, which is the nerdy stuff, I really enjoy doing it because it's a passion that I have about golf, and I love being part of it. So yeah.
For our audience out there, Wayne's our web developer, graphic designer. So all the back end skills and niceties that we have, there's your
just
man.
Say nerd, that makes it easier.
And if you didn't like the artwork, there's your man right there.
just one thing. I mean, we did call out their favourite golf courses, and it's interesting that no one obviously said the #1 golf course in Australia. And that's no knock to them. I think that just tells us that, that is a beautiful golf course, Royal Melbourne, and it does deserve to be rated #1. Very hard to play the composite course, obviously, because it's got, the Royal Melbourne, for people that don't know, have 36 holes, and they pick, would it be the best holes from each? Is that how it works, the composite?
Yeah.
To make it work?
Yeah.
So, and in a tournament condition, and I've never been fortunate enough to play a tournament. We've only been, and, the three of us got to see the President's Cup last year. But it is a magnificent golf course once it's, in those conditions. So it's no knock to that. It's just...
Kingston just had something just special. It's just, I've played there 3 times, and every time I play there, it's just got that little bit of something different that really gives you that, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, we're pretty spoiled though, whether it's Melbourne or now you've got also King Island, Barnbougle, as you mentioned, Hindsight. So, going up to the peninsula as well, playing courses like the National, Moona Links. There's so many options and great courses. But yeah, I just love the strategy and the layout of the Heath. It just does it for me every time.
Hey, just one thing I want to quickly just bring up. Did you guys see that little article that popped up during the week? There's a guy from America posted a tweet to Phil Mickelson and said, any chance that you could do a pay-per-view challenge against Tiger? And Phil's response was working on it.
Nice.
So that'll be something.
Bringing it back.
Well, yeah, but it'll be great, especially the time that we're sitting at the moment with everything going on. Like, it'll be, just a great positive to get, for people. Everyone's sitting at home with no sport on television and all that sort of stuff. I think it'd be a great little thing to appear. So.
Well, are they going to leave the pins in? Are they going to put little foam cups in there so that you don't have to touch the pole? Make sure you don't touch the cup.
Preferred lies in the bunkers.
There'll be a guy.
That brings us on to our next discussion point, guys. Should the courses be opened or closed right now? We got mixed responses. What do you think?
I'll lead. I don't believe they should be closed. That's just my opinion. Wayne, I'm sure you can give us your opinion on, obviously, being the president, the backside and the business side. But from a consumer side, and obviously I'm not a member anywhere, but I'm thinking about all the people that are members of golf clubs, is that that's their form of exercise, and they should be allowed to be, they should be allowed. And obviously, I'm not saying, you can go out in massive groups and hang around the clubhouse afterwards and stuff. You still need that social distancing. But in terms of golf, I mean, we are pretty good in terms of social distancing anyway, because you're not going to stand right next to someone when they're hitting their shot. You only really gather potentially at the green and on the tee, and even if you keep that in mind, it should be pretty safe. So anyway, for my take, I know a lot of people are disappointed that it's closed. We understand why it's going on, but yeah, in my opinion, it should be open.
Yeah, well, I probably have a little bit different. I actually think I agree with what Victoria have done with actually closing courses down. I know everyone's missing out on playing their golf, and everyone's upset. But the problem is, it's not just the golfers we have to think about here. It's also the infrastructure that goes in the back end of a club. So you've still got to have somebody there in operational wise to actually get the people out there, pay their fees, do whatever needs to be done, get them out on the course. The drama is that it's not so much looking after the people who do the right thing. It's the idiots who do the wrong thing, and they're out there. They're the ones that we have to worry about, and they're the ones that are causing, I believe, the issues that are there. And it's just, and we see it every day of the week. Like, you tell people, stay out of the rough, just drive down here, and they're doing U's and carrying on, doing whatever they want to do. They're just out there. They really just don't care. And I think they're the ones that probably that we need to try and keep this, to where it is. I know our club made the decision a week prior to Victoria going to full lockdown, and it was a very, very hard decision we had to make. But we just didn't believe that we had the ability to be able to look after staff, look after members, and do the right thing by everybody. And golf primarily is a sport that has a lot of older members, and they're the ones that we really have to worry about. Like my dad was, I spoke to my dad yesterday. My dad's dying at home at the moment. He's just grizzling. He said he's polished his car twice. His shed's never been so tidy. But my dad's retired, like he's 75 years old, and plays golf 4 days a week. So it's really been a real, cut off for him, where it's just he hasn't been able to do anything there. And I feel sorry for him, but I also feel he's my biggest concern at the moment, is that he's in that demographic that this virus can really really.
I think that's the big thing that we've all got to be conscious of, isn't it? I mean, we've all got to play our role socially. I am torn personally. I think, for the most part, people are doing the right things. They're out there social distancing. I mean, I played last Friday because, kind of knew that this was coming and that we'd be going into lockdown. But I felt indifferent about it, in the sense that, there's a social responsibility to be isolated and do the right thing for the community. On the other side, though, you've got people running supermarkets, Bunnings and every other place, and doing those things. And as you mentioned, Wayne, it only takes one wrong person to ruin it for everybody else. And so what if somehow someone there got it and they were in my group, and then next thing I catch it, and then I pass that on to my kids or
and even a staff member at the course gets it. The obligation really does come back on the club, because they were the one that were there. Like, I know that it was a very big call that we had to make, because we had to lay off 46 staff members. So, I sat in there at the office with our general manager while he was making phone calls to these people. It was heartbreaking to hear, people who had just theoretically lost their jobs. So it was a big, big decision that we had to make.
And I think that's the other thing as well, right? Is that a lot of people think of golf courses and clubs, they think of the club and they think of your membership, but there's not that. There's all the bistro staff. There's all the other staff. There's the pro shop owner at times that got their business and
staff.
Their staff, ground staff as well. So there's a lot of employment that is being impacted by COVID-19 across various industries, and golf's no different, especially the hospitality side, which is a huge part of a golf club's infrastructure and business. So, it is a tough one. From most of the comments and posts we've got, most people would like to see it open, groups of 2, maintain social distancing. But we've seen the backflip in New South Wales overnight, so they've opened again after being closed yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see what each state does. As far as I know, right now, Queensland and New South Wales are allowing golf to continue in pairs, no more than 2s, and obviously with the food and beverage takeaway only. And then it'll be interesting to see how other states go. And overall, I think that we're just in uncertain times, not just within golf, but the whole world right now, all of our lives. There's no end goal, end line, so to speak, with COVID-19 and this virus. And until there's a treatment, there's a cure, there's a plan, we're kind of all running around with opinions and a bit with different opinions, and a bit torn as to what we should or shouldn't do and can and can't do. If you're like me, I've got 3 kids at home, and they're going to go stir crazy over the next little while. So that's going to make for good fun. So the best thing you can do is plan to do stuff around home, which brings us to our next point. Boys, what are you going to do to keep your golf in check and a bit of practice at home? Wayne, I think you've got a bit of a setup in your backyard there, don't you?
Just a little one. Yeah. We'll flick a picture of it up here now. Yeah, a couple of years, 2 years ago, we had a backyard at our house where for 8 years, the only person that ever used it was the dog to go out there and do its business. And we dug it up and turned it into a 4-hole golf course. So it's all synthetic. It's I've got a little area I can chip from. I can chip about probably maybe 20 metres. But yeah, it's fantastic for practice. But I'll tell you the best thing of it, it's just for social. When we get back to where we were, and invite friends around, like when we have friends come around, we're always out there having competitions and stuff like that. It's great fun. So I've set a net up out the back as well. So but I reckon there could be a couple of pretty ugly stray shots when we first get back out on the golf course.
What about you, Mr. Keane? Are you gonna be doing anything at home? Bit of practice in the backyard?
No, so unfortunately the gyms have closed around Australia, as we probably all know. So I've been trying to sort of do some stuff at home in terms of exercise, but there are some awesome training aids out there, and hitting nets and chipping nets and hitting mats and stuff. So if you get bored and you want to stay connected with golf, go out and invest in one of these things, because it's still, you can still hit a ball into a net, and make sure you don't hit it over the net or through the net and end up in your neighbour's backyard. But there's certainly opportunity still to sort of stay connected. There's some cool videos out there on social media where people are putting and doing whatnot still. So yeah, unfortunately I'm not at the moment, and could probably compared to you two, I'm sort of, I can take golf as it is at the moment. I don't play all that often, but I do enjoy it when I get out there. So yeah, where you two are probably a bit more diehard than I am, and need your golf fix. So yeah, for me, it's all about just sort of trying to stay connected to the game, I guess, and just seeing what's out there and seeing what's pretty cool on social media at the moment.
Well,
and I know what Christian's been doing. I know what Christian's been doing. You've been hitting balls at those poor little bunny rabbits in your backyard, haven't you?
Perfect target practice. Nothing like a moving target. But we will have some interactive stuff for our audience. So by the time this comes out, we probably would have launched it already. But the first one we'll do is a toilet roll challenge, where we'll get some of our BGA followers and otherwise to send in videos on how you can use a toilet roll as a practice aid. There's certainly a few ideas out there, and we'll see what people send through, but we got plenty more coming, so we'll continue to sift that through.
And if anyone's got any really cool backyard setups where you're practicing at the moment, shoot us through a photo, and we'll stick them up online next time we go along. If Mark Wahlberg's out there listening, we're more than happy for him to do a bit of a video around his. If you haven't seen his backyard, make sure you Google it. It is the most amazing thing you'll ever see in your life. So Mark Wahlberg, the actor, but it's just incredible. Yeah.
Nice. The two that I've seen, Luke Donald's been very active on his home videos, and then Padraig Harrington has been showing us all his beautiful Scottish backyard. I think it's Scottish or Irish, one of those. But he's got a pretty amazing setup as well. If only I had a few of their millions of dollars in my pocket.
Just in a couple of mil. Yep.
So Wayne, can I just ask? Obviously, the club's shut. There's no income at the moment. Where you're at? I mean, you're in a regional area. Ballarat's what, 2 hours away from Melbourne? 2.5 hours away from Melbourne?
No, hour and a bit.
Hour and a bit. Straight east, almost.
Yeah, it's only an hour and 59 minutes, Keen.
Yeah, sure. So it gets pretty cold in winter. Pretty hot in summer. Pretty dry, hot in summer.
Oh, yeah, dry, hot. Yeah. Yep.
So obviously the club's closed. There's no income from, or revenue coming through the hospitality side. Membership fees. There's no green fees, obviously. Membership fees. Is that suspended?
Yeah, look, it's been an interesting debate that's been kicking around out on the web, and there's quite a few golf discussion groups that I'm part of. People saying, we should be getting our membership fees back. It's a hard one, because it makes me wonder whether those people are going to go and ask for their football memberships back, or they're going to ring their local Vic Roads and say, can we have some of our registration fees back because we're not using our car as much. The biggest drama with this is that golf clubs are not going to have any income coming in. So this, financially wise, this is going to be devastating for probably our golf club, but a lot of other golf clubs that are out there is even going to be worse. So it's really, really hard to try and do something. I know at our club, it's something that we will discuss. We're not saying what's going on at the moment, but we will discuss it. But it's a really, really hard point. And please, can I just say to people out there, please just be very, very mindful of your club. As I said, if every member went and asked for 3 months of their membership back, is it going to destroy the club? Are you not going to have a club there to go back to? And that's what you need to be sort of.
And I think that's the biggest thing is there's two sides to that. Number one, obviously there's a lot of support coming out from the government, and that is because people are doing it tough. So there's going to be a lot of people trying to reduce their costs in their expenditure, and especially things like this, which are leisure activities that may be things that they just can't afford right now. A lot of people have lost their jobs, And then on the other side to that is the golf club is in that same position where they've had to get people go. There's still a lot of costs, ongoing costs that are there for the golf club, and therefore they need the income for that. The biggest thing that I would say, regardless of what happens with shutdowns or whatnot, the government needs to allow ground staff to continue to maintain the courses, because you cannot leave those greens and fairways, but especially the greens, unattended for a long period of time. It is going to take way too much time to try and get the course back to life, as opposed to keeping it maintained during.
We've got that at the moment, so we're completely closed down. We've got 2 staff that are actually being paid half their wages to actually, and then really what they're doing is looking after the greens. The theory is with the greens, because it's such a fine grass and you mow it so regularly, it trains the grass to basically stay short and low to the ground. If all of a sudden that grass, you don't mow it for a week, that grass starts to get heads and starts to pop up, you can't retrain it to go back down again. Theoretically, you just about dig the green up and start again. So it's really, really, really critical. And I know that there's government bodies, like the Turf Association in place, are lobbying government to try and make sure that they can actually keep that. But one quick thing I just want to quickly mention, I think that Golf Australia and the states should get, they should be trying to help clubs out as much as they can. There was a very interesting report come out today on Golf Digest magazine, and it stated that Golf New South Wales currently has $11 million in cash sitting there. When the fires went through and there was so many courses devastated through New South Wales, they donated $100,000 to the appeal. Now, why in the hell has someone like that got $11 million sitting in the bank where, it's not their money, it's the golfers' money, it's all the golfers that have paid fees, that's where that money's come from. So I really think that the major golf associations really need to get on board with this and really try and help clubs as much as they can to get through this and prop them back up again.
And let's provide a bit of background and context.
Political stand there. Just soapbox, I'm off it now.
Love it. No, put it out there. So let's look at the background. So Golf Australia formed the One Golf model not long ago. Just to digress slightly. So my background, guys, I used to be the head of Cobra Puma Golf for the Australasian market for 5 years, and now one of the owners of BGA. So been in the golf industry for a while, dealt with a lot of these organisations and back office, seen what's happening, which is why we started BGA. But one of the models that I believe was a good charter was the One Golf model through Golf Australia, whereby they were trying to get all the state bodies to come under Golf Australia. They successfully have done that with every state bar 2. Number 1 is Western Australia, number 2, New South Wales, that you just mentioned. And the reason behind it all, or those guys not coming through, was because they were getting their own funding from within the state or from private donors, if you like, or donations, plus the internal revenue they get from the state. So call it what you will, but my opinion is we should be trying to work together and work towards something like One Golf. If those states continue to operate in isolation, that doesn't help us all get onto the same page, but there's probably a bit on both sides that needs to give for that model to work effectively. But I couldn't agree with you more, Wayne, in that if that money's there, that money needs to be utilised through these tough times and given through. We can't all just run to the government, if you like, for the money. I think the other thing is that from a general business rule and from a compassion rule, number 1 is always think about, and this is just for any of us personally, for whatever it's worth, anything we do, anything we say, any way in which we act, think about how it impacts somebody else or that person that you're targeting that action towards. And the second thing I'll say is that the government doesn't have a pit of money just sitting there ready to hand out. Every cent, every dollar comes from somewhere, the Treasury, the Reserve, or wherever it is. So there's not this endless pit where we can all just ask the printing machine to produce $100 bills and hand them out to everybody. Every time we do that, it costs us money. And essentially, that means that not everybody in this scenario can all turn to the government. Whilst the government will provide relief, we definitely need to get some money internally where possible to help all the clubs that are going to be doing it tough. And if that means costing us every cent that we've got in the bank to make sure that that happens, then we should be doing that.
And I guess the challenge here is that, like any business across Australia and around the world, there are well-run businesses and there are poorly run businesses, and that's a fact of life. And you know, are we going to prop up a golf course that is poorly run, that has been mismanaged, and that have spent too much money on the wrong areas? And who makes a call on that? You know, who actually says, you know, you've mismanaged your golf club and that's why you are where you are? Yeah. And that is a challenge within itself. And I don't think we should just be doling out money left, right, and centre. But for the clubs that are genuinely struggling, that need the cash to get through this period, yeah, no doubt. And I will use an example. I'll use an example for the airline industry, right? I mean, we came out recently that, you know, Virgin and Qantas both need a bailout at the moment. So anyway, it's going to be challenging. I don't think, you know, unfortunately, with these things, it's going to be a tough call to see who, you know, how we give out the money and who needs the money and, you know, where it should go.
No, just like the government grants and whatnot, there's got to be qualification criteria. There needs to be transparency on financial data, what the actual bottom line impact has been, because like you said, we shouldn't just be giving it to people that are mismanaged or want to take advantage of an unfortunate situation. It should truly be for those that have had impact on their business in this time. If they've been mismanaging to a point where they're about to go under anyway, well, sorry, that's unfortunately your situation, your cross to bear.
All right, let's move on. We're out of time, so let's. We've got two little things we'd like to finish off the podcast with. One is a funny golf story. So we've got to try and have a smile at the end. So we want to ask people to actually submit their funny golf stories in. I'm going to lead off today. Now, my story might lose a little bit of its power because there are a lot of expletives that actually took place when this happened. So I'll try and keep it.
Got a little
PG.
I'll try and keep it as P-rated as I can. So I, for many years, we went up and we did this. There was a thing called the Murray Downs Golf Challenge, which was there was a team from lots of clubs went up there and participated in this event. So 4 of us went up from our club, which we did for about probably 5 or 6 years. And then what happens is you get paired off. So 2 of you will play with 2 other guys from another club, and then 2 will play with another 2 guys from the club. So this was on the Saturday. We rocked up on the Saturday afternoon. We're going to play. I was playing with a good mate of mine, Trevor, and we're sitting there ready, and the names got called out. We rocked up to the tee, and as we rocked up to the tee, here's these 2 guys, fair income. They were the bushiest guy, from I don't know where they were from, but they both had ZZ Top beards that sort of come down to their belly button and the whole bits and pieces. And they were, in the end, we found out they were from a country course up in New South Wales, and they were both brothers. So over the first 3 holes, they just constantly called each other the biggest effing idiots in the world, and they were just the non-stop. Every second word was F and C and the whole lot, and they went on and on and on and on. We got to about the 3rd hole we were playing, and where you parked the carts, it was about 20 metres over to where the tee was. So Trev's grabbed his club out of the bag, walked over to the tee, and he's standing there getting himself ready to hit the ball. And I turned around to the 2 guys that we were playing with. I said, look, guys, I don't mean to embarrass you, but Trevor's actually a priest. And their faces dropped. They just remembered what they'd been saying for the last 3 holes, and they just stood there and they're going, just at that moment, Trev's hit his ball and hit this massive big snap hook, and he's dropped, you effing C! These 2 guys just stood there and, yeah, but anyway, there you go. So it lost a little bit of its translation because we couldn't use swear words, but anyway. But if you've got any really good golf stories, please share them with us. We'd love to share them on the podcast. And the last little part that we'd like to have a quick chat about is we'd like to finish off the podcast with is new toys. And I got a new toy.
You did get a new toy.
Yes. Christian's very devastated.
I've got some of my own that I could use for that. But anyway, tell us about your lovely new toy, Wayne.
So we just thought we'd let you know about some really cool products that are out there. This one's probably not that new, but and we've got a couple of new ones that we're just trying to get hold of at the moment that we'll bring in the future. But I just got myself an MGI Zip Navigator all-terrain motorised buggy. I'll tell you what, I can't believe this long without having one. It's the most amazing thing. It's just like having someone caddy for you. And it's just put your buggy there, you go for a wander, the thing wanders along beside you or goes up the fairway, whatever you want to do. They are just incredible. As I said, it makes life so much easier. Yes, I am getting old, so probably a lot of you younger ones don't need that, but it's pretty cool.
Are you saying your dad still pulls and pushes his golf bag and electric bike?
My dad's got a motorbike. Dad's on a motorbike, so that's all right. I have offered you can actually use it. The worst part was the first day I took it out, I walked into the pro shop, went and got a bucket of practice balls, paid my fees, did all the bits and pieces, started walking over towards the driving range. Sort of the buggy was putting along beside me. Halfway across the putting green on this edge of it, I realised I left the balls back in the pro shop. So I just turned around and walked back to the pro shop, forgot to turn the buggy off. So the buggy just headed off over towards the first tee. Luckily, one of the guys on the green realised what was going on, went over and hit the stop button. But I did get warned from a lot of people the first time you take it out, you'll probably put it in a bunker or a dam or something like that. But touch wood, I haven't done that yet. So that's my new little toy.
Very good.
And we'll put some images up now of that with some information through. But for the next show, we'll have plenty more to talk about. Thanks for your time today, guys. For the audience and golfers out there, please submit any topics that you'd like us to discuss. Please, any toys you want us to review. We do have contacts with all the head of each of the brands across Australia. So whether it's Keen, Wayne, or myself, we can test some new toys and products. Or even better is our golf professionals at our BGA Proshop stores. To see more about us, visit www.bgaproshop.com. If you want to email us, info@bgaproshop.com, or follow us through Instagram or social media just by simply searching for BGA Proshop. Next episode, guys, I do want to talk about a couple of things. Number one, I know it's not golf related, but I'm very excited about The Last Stand coming out. The Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, and every other player of the greatest basketball team of all time coming out. So that's something for us to all get excited about during the lockdown.
Basketball.
Yep.
That's basketball.
That other ball sport. And the other thing is I'd like to get feedback from our audience out there for discussion next time is, what would be the T20 version of golf? How do we make that look? Is it a Super six-hole type event or alternate scoring? What is it? So love to hear everyone's thoughts. You guys can think about it. We'll bring it up next week. But until then, see you later. Stay safe. Stay at home.